The drive-thru. I'm your host Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays YouTube channel throughout social media. We will get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime game, because that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays. So let's meet the cappers first, and we'll get right to the picks so we don't mess around here on the drive-thru. Let's say hello to David. David, what's going on?
Not much, Tony. It's been a good couple of weeks for me here. A good, really, 2025, so looking to keep it going. I know we were just talking. Tough to have the NHL on a 2-week break, but we'll just have to focus on college hoops and the NBA a little more.
That we will do. Ron, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much, Tony. It was same. No more games in the NHL for a couple of weeks, and it's crazy. That's such a long break to see for this Four Nations disaster. But it is what it is. I guess you get to represent your nation in hockey, but for me, it's just I think it's a total waste of time. It is what it is. It's not gonna. I get the whole idea and the concept, but you're still missing a big nation that employs a whole lot of hockey guys. So where's Ovi playing? Is Ovi playing on the team this year in the Four Nations? Where's Ovi play? He's been the biggest headline of the NHL this season, and you see him on nothing. So it is what it is in the NHL. I'm sorry, but you dropped the ball again in the NHL. Again.
There you go. Right.
That's what I think of that. It is what it is. I'm going to enjoy the break and then be ready to go, give me extra time to look at college basketball, NBA, and the W. It'll be back in a couple months too. So just give me some extra time to lose focus on the NHL for a little bit and focus on the sports. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Let's say hello to Kirk. Kirk, what's going on?
Not much. Coming off a solid day till the Super Bowl, so 4-1 till the Super Bowl, but looking to build on that. So hopefully we start the week off strong.
That's right. So Javon, what's going on?
Yeah, the Chiefs finally lost.
Yeah, they did.
So it was a profitable day and a good day.
All right.
That's all that needs to be said.
There you go. Chiefs get the loss that put the W by the Eagles, and of course we're ready to roll here with NBA college hoops.
Exposed as the frauds they are.
There you go. That's right. A lot of close wins there, and boy, they got hammered there in the Super Bowl. But I know a lot of folks will be watching this for the first time because they really haven't paid attention much to hoops. We've been covering hoops since the season started back in October in NBA, back in November in college basketball. So we're ready to roll here, guys, with college basketball and NBA. So let's get started here with the NBA card for us to lead us off here in this on the drive-thru. So we're going to start here with NBA. And we'll cover the first 3 games here on the board will be Spurs and Wizards. We see the Spurs 11-point favorites here, total 237.5. And then we move on to Hawks and Magic. Magic ticking up here, 5.5, total 222.5. And then Timberwolves and Cavs. The Cavs 9.5, total 231. Let me just take a look at this injury report because there's some news here in this Minnesota game. For Minnesota, out will be DiVincenzo, Edwards, and Randall. Edwards and Conley still questionable. We'll be keeping an eye on this throughout the show. On the Cleveland side, no Okoro, Strus, Travers, and Wade out for Cleveland. Atlanta, a clean injury report. Just Suggs doubtful for. Actually, Suggs is now out for Orlando. Suggs out. Spurs and the Wizards. Bassey out for San Antonio. On the Washington side, Bay, Gill, Middleton, Sarr, and Smart are out there. So we got you caught up on the injuries. Let's get this segment here, this block started here with Kirk.
Yeah. In that Spurs game, I'm looking here at the over. It's a pretty high number, but the Wizards, they don't defend, and at home they can score the ball, especially with Fox now in that Spurs lineup. They're pushing the pace a little bit faster. I think staying away from sides in that one. So I'm going to go with the over. And that's really all I like in this slot. I think it's a pretty tough slate today, so just one play for me in this time slot.
From Kirk, next up we move on over to Rock.
And for me in this time slot games, I like the under between Atlanta and Orlando. It's Orlando can definitely score some points, but Orlando cannot score enough points there. Orlando can score some points. I know their defense is bad. Can the Magic wake up and score some points? I don't know. Until they do, I'm going to take the under 222 in that matchup. We know the Magic play their better defense at home. But point scoring wise, it's tough. They're just not looking Magic team offensively. So I think you can get 222 is a high total for a Magic game, given the under 222 in that matchup. And then you're looking at the Spurs taking on the Wizards. It's I'm going to go the other way. I normally we've seen 3 of the last 4 games be track meets between these two teams, but I'm going that odd game out where I think we sneak under this total of 237.5. It was a 236, went up to 236.5, went up to 237. It's slowly on the rise. I'm not rushing to bet it because I think it'll rise up a little more here before we tip off, but I like the under Spurs and Washington.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on right over to David.
Yeah, Timberwolves Cavs. It's tough without knowing Anthony Edwards' status, so I'm going to stay away there. Orlando today, I keep waiting for this Magic team to hop back on the course they were on. I think we all are. But they've really struggled over the last few weeks. I was really close to pulling the trigger on them as a premium today, but I just couldn't get there. I will lean the Magic because I do think they covered today, but they've just been super inconsistent. But like Rod said, their defense at home, very strong. I mean, defense really all over has been great, but they've been really strong at home. Atlanta, really up and down. I think the trade deadline, I know they've won their last couple, but I think the moves at the deadline is going to take some wind out of their sails. I don't love what they did, and I think they can get tied up here with this Orlando defense. And then Spurs Wizards, I've been a huge over guy with the Spurs over the last 6 weeks, but 237.5 is a bit much for me here, so I'm going to stay away from that game as well.
There from David. Next up, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, the only way I could look is the Spurs in this one. I know it's a big spread, but the Spurs played last night. They're on the second hour back, and they got beat up by 13, 14 points. Yeah, they're gonna get ran through again. So I know that the Spurs, they're not playing they're not playing in good form right now. But when you're traveling to DC, they should be salivating. So we should have a big game. Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, and all those guys, so they should break out today. And in the the Minnesota Cleveland game, it's a lot of points. I know that Cleveland can whip up on them, but provided that Anthony Edwards is in the game, they should be able to be competitive enough to keep this within single digits. When the last several games, the games that they have lost, they've been close games, so I expect their defense to be in the form and get it done in this one. So I'll take the points.
Yeah, from Javon. All right, I'll tell you what I think about some of these games. I'm going to look at the Magic in this spot. We know Wagner's back healthy. He's third game back. And the Magic, 10-3 the spread at home. Fun a home game. So when you stay away from the Magic when they come back from a road trip, but once they've settled in, they start playing their second and third and more home games is when you back them here. So I'll back them in the spot. Atlanta in horrible defensive form over their past 5 games. Give 122 points a game, 49% shooting. I'll look for Orlando in this spot. Like the over in Minnesota and Cleveland. Boy, look at this Cleveland team. Just putting up points here. Looking at it over their past 5 games, put 124 points per 100 possessions. Cleveland, 14-3 to the over against the West. In their past 5, averaging 128 a game. Timberwolves also put 117 points per game over their past 5 and shooting the ball well. Like the over in that one. I'm going to hold my nose and get some clothespins to help me out and take Washington plus the points. Spurs have failed to cover 8 of 12. They're just in poor form right now. The defense has been bad. Believe it or not, Washington has covered 4 or 5. It's hard to believe, but they have. 8-6 of the spread at home, facing these bad defensive teams that give it 46% shooting or greater. So we'll look at Washington plus the points. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru as we get ready here for your next series of games from this NBA card. Next up, we will have Celtics and Heat. Celtics up to 6, total 215. Hornets and Nets. Nets 4, total 212. Warriors and Bucks. Warriors now up to 7.5 here, total 230. Let's take a look at the injury report. Let's do a refresh here as we take a look at what's going on in these series of games. All right, we will look here at the the Spurs and Wizards. We already mentioned that one, right? With Basie out, Bay, Gill, Middleton, Sarr, Smart out for Washington. Boston and Miami, we've got Craig and Holiday out. Tatum and Brown remain questionable, so that one's to keep an eye on there. Heat, Hero is now out for Miami. Hero, Hawkins, and Stevens out there in that one. Looking at the Warriors and the Bucks, we've got Kuminga out. Curry still questionable. We've got Giannis. Giannis will be out until after the All-Star break. Lillard, Connaughton are questionable. So Lillard hits the injury report late. Let's see what the word is on Lillard. Questionable here due to right hamstring soreness. So a later addition here for Lillard there with the hamstring. And Connaughton, Lopez is questionable as well. So looks like we've got you covered here on this block from the NBA. Hornets and Nets we've got to cover here. Okay, so Hornets and Nets in this block. We've got Okogie and Williams out. Wong, Smith, Green, and Debate are questionable. On the Brooklyn side, it's Bogdanovich, Clowney, Lewis, and Thomas out. Remember that Simmons was moved out. He was shipped out. He was waived. Looks like Clippers are going to pick him up. So we got you up to date here on the injuries. In this block, we started off with Kirk.
Yeah, another tough block because a lot of big names are questionable. I think Brown or Tatum, at least one of them plays, and with no Hero, that's a lean to me for the Celtics, but I need to see that at least one of the stars of JB or JT is playing in that game. And then, what was the other one? Warriors, Bucks. I kind of have to see if Lillard and Steph are playing, so that's a no bet for me. But I do like the Hornets plus the points here. Having LaMelo back, they have shown to be a little bit better. Him, Bridges, both playing really well, and I think this is a one-possession game, so give me the points with the Hornets here.
Yeah, with Kirk. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, looking at the Hornets in Brooklyn, I like the over there. Give me the over 212. Charlotte's definitely picking up their offensive play, so I don't expect a lower scoring one there. We get up and over the 212 between those two. And Boston's ticked up to 6 now, 6.5 in places. So at least one of those two guys are going to play that Kirk was mentioning. And the big thing is we've seen ATS numbers this Boston team after a big win. They usually fall flat in their face. But look what they've been doing offensively over their last 5 games, hitting 49% of their field goals and scoring 119 points a game. You look at the Heat on the other side of things, and they're only hitting 44% of their shots and only scoring 105 points a game. That's nowhere near going to cover the spread here in this one. With Hero being out as well, this is one of those spots that I think Boston wins by double digits. I'll lay the 6 with the Celtics in that matchup.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on over to David.
Yeah, I have a premium plays in the Warriors, Bucks, and Celtics, Heat, but Hornets, Nets. I'm gonna agree here. I'm gonna take the Hornets and the points. I just think you have two really bad teams, but I actually think the Hornets win this game. I know they've only won one of their last handful of games, but that one did come last time out. LaMelo's in the lineup. I like them. I like them straight up, but I'll take them with the points.
From David. Next up, we move right on over to Javon.
Yeah, I know that the Celtics, they're 3-18 after a cover, but this is the Miami Heat, and one of the things that they love to do is beat up on the Miami Heat. So regardless of who they have on the court, whether they have JT or JB, they should be able to get the job done. Hell, I don't think that it would have been a problem if they don't have neither one of those guys, especially with the late news that Tyler Herro's out. But even with him on the court, this is a spot where guys like Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White, they man up, and Peyton Pritchard. So regardless of whether one or both of the two stars play, it's the Celtics for me all day.
From Javon. All right, tell you what I think about some of these games here. I'm going to look at Charlotte here plus the points. Looking at this Brooklyn team here, really struggling here. Past 7 home games, averages 102 points per 100 possessions. Only the second road game for Charlotte in their past 10. Believe it or not, the Hornets have covered 7 straight as a dog. And Brooklyn here, poor shooting form over their past 3 games. They've also been very poor in the role of his home favorite, 1-4 to the spread. I'll look at Charlotte in that spot. And I'm going to go under with Milwaukee and Golden State in this one here. The Bucks have gone under in 3 straight when Warriors have been road favorites of 6.5 or greater. 5-0 the under on the road. No Giannis in this game. But I'm gonna look at the under with two teams in really poor shooting form right now. That's the key to that pick there. And looks like I'm going to do El Paso on that. Yeah, it looks like, I'm not going to touch that Boston game. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we're ready to close out the NBA with these final 4 games here on the card. So let's get to the NBA to close it out with the following games. Pelicans and Thunder. Look at this. Thunder 17, total 234.5. Kings and Mavericks. Mavericks still holding as a 1-point favorite, total 236.5. Trailblazers and Nuggets. Nuggets 9.5, total 229.5. And we close it out tonight. Game on ESPN. Lakers to host the Jazz. We've got the Lakers here at 12, total 236.5. And let's take a look at the injury report here for this block of games and to update you on see who's in and who's out. So let's take a quick peek. I want to take a quick peek at that Timberwolves game. Still no word on Ant. Okay, so let's take a look here at Pelicans and Thunder. Boston, Brown, Jones, McCollum, and Olenek out here for New Orleans. On the OKC side, no Dang, no Isaiah Joe, Mitchell, Wallace out. Sacramento and Dallas. Sacramento, a clean injury report. Now on the Dallas side, no Powell, no Martin, no Lively. Davis will be out for a while, several weeks, with that abductor strain. PJ Washington, Exum, and Christie are all questionable. Portland and Denver, Thibault out, but Williams, Murray, and Grant questionable. On the Denver side, no Kankar, no Watson, no Westbrook. Porter questionable. Murray, Gordon, probable. So, wow, look at how many starters there. 3 of the 5 starters on the report for Denver. Utah and the Lakers, no KJ Martin, no Sexton. On the Lakers side, there will be no Wood, no Reddish, no Kleber. Reeves, Connect, James, and Doncic, all probable there. So you're up to date there with the injuries on this Final Four in this NBA block. Get it started with Kirk.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Pelicans here. I think 17, 18 is a little bit too much here. I mean, Trey Murphy has been able to put up points when you need them. Zion should be playing in this game, so I don't think they get remotely close to winning, but I think they keep it in the 13 to 15 point range. And the back door, I think, will be wide open in this game. Chet's still coming back from injury. They're going to probably try to get him more involved in this game just because this is a game where you can kind of fool around and win it at the end. So I think here it's kind of a 10 to 15 point victory. But I'll take the Pelicans, and I'm going to take the Jazz too. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. The Jazz have been playing well, and everyone wants to be the team that spoils Luka's home debut. The Jazz have that chance. I think they keep it competitive here.
Brown and Tatum upgraded to probable for Boston. So Boston, Jason Tatum, Brown upgraded to probable. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Yeah, I'm going the other side of that Pelicans game. Give me OKC there in that matchup. This Pelicans team doesn't play a lick of defense. Over their last 5 games, giving up 51.8% shooting, and that's equating to 129 points a game. And guess what? This OKC team, they can shoot the ball. They're scoring 49.9% field goal shooting and scoring 130 points a game over their last 5. I think they can easily pin 130 on the Pelicans. And the Pelicans will be lucky to score 110, which is their season average. So that's a 20-point difference for me. Give me OKC by 20+ in that matchup. And then
1 second,
I like
Rob.
the over.
Look at a correction here. Brown has now been listed as out for Boston. Brown out, Tatum probable. There you go.
Figured one of the two was going to go. One was in, one was going to be out. So for me, looking at Utah and the Lakers, give me the over. I don't think a whole lot of defense is going to be playing in that one. Look what the Jazz have been doing defensively, and it hasn't been good. They've also been able to score some points too. So both offenses, I think, put up points in that one, and we cruise into the 240+. Utah and the Lakers, give me the over there.
There from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to David.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over in that Thunder-Pelicans game for a lot of the reasons that Rod just said. I think the Thunder offensively are going to have a huge day. I mean, they've been great. Look at their last few games, 121 points or more in 5 straight. On the other side, the Pelicans, well, they don't play much defense. They have scored 116 in 4 of their last 5. So I'll take the over 235.5 there. And then, Jazz Lakers, I'm going to take the points here with the Jazz. These two teams have played twice before this season. It was a 6-point win for the Lakers and a 1-point win for the Lakers. Now, I know a lot has changed since then, but Utah not playing horribly. I know they struggled defensively, but I think they can keep this one respectable. And I wouldn't be shocked to see the Lakers struggle with Luka in the lineup to start, too, while he tries to find his fit in that offense with LeBron. So I'll take the points there with Utah.
There from David. Next up, we move on over to Javon.
Yeah, how I'm going to attack this OKC game. I don't want the full game because, they might pull their players late, and then whatever cover that they do have, because they'll be up by 20 plus, it might go down. It might go down the drain. Like that last game that they had. How that happened. So what I'm gonna do is, I will first half it. I was gonna say first quarter, but sometimes these first quarters get a little bit wonky, and I know it's gonna be a big spread in the first quarter. So first half, I think they'll be whooping up all over the Pelicans in this one. And then if they're down in the third quarter, or if it's a struggle in the first half at halftime, they'll come out guns blazing in the third quarter. So I would say win in the third quarter, depending on how the game is playing out. If it's either close or they're actually losing. And then for the Lakers game, look, Lakers are in good form. With the addition of Luka, it's gonna be bright lights, big city, and they're gonna whoop it up on the Jazz. That's how I feel. All the stars are gonna be out for this one. It's not gonna be. They're not gonna be disappointed. The Jazz, they stand no chance in this one. So I'm not gonna get cute by taking underdog in this one. Sometimes you can. In this NBA, no. So it's gonna be all Lakers all night, as far as I'm concerned. And did we get to the Kings and Dallas game?
That's part of it too. That one and Portland game. Yep, those are the two.
Yeah, slight lean to Dallas. Nothing concrete as far as my reason is. I just think that they might bounce back a little bit. The Kings they're in shambles as far as I'm concerned. So maybe the Dallas Mavericks could not have it down there after AD went down. You got the full experience with Anthony Davis. Dallas fans. You got a hell of a game until he tweaks something. So you're gonna have that for the remainder of his time in Dallas. Sorry to say, but it is what it is. When on the night where Luka's making his debut, sheesh, it's gonna get ugly on February 25th.
Maybe that way we can now confirm Tatum in the lineup for Boston. Tatum in, Brown out. I'll tell you what I think about these games here. I like the over with Oklahoma City and New Orleans. You look at OKC at home here. 9-3 to the over in their past 12. 6-1 to the over at home when they had these high totals of 130 or greater. And the Pelicans, they played to the over as well. 4-1 to the over in their past 5. The Pelicans don't play a lot of defense, but they do get some offense, and they get enough offense to get this one over the total there. Kings and Dallas. Yeah, I like Dallas in this spot. The Kings have failed to cover 8 of 10 against these bad defensive teams. Dallas 7-4 the spread at home against these teams giving up 46% shooting or greater. But the Mavs do defend better at home, and you've got a healthy Kyrie, Gafford, and Thompson. That should be enough in this spot. I like Dallas here. Denver and Portland. I'm going to take Portland only because a lot of the rotational players for Denver are banged up. And they don't have a lot of depth on that squad. I was very surprised. No one's been talking about this. Denver did nothing during the All-Star during the trade deadline, nothing. And they're a team that needed have depth issues. At least Malone has been complaining for the last 2 years that he's losing guys. So they didn't do him any favors here. So I'll take Portland plus the points, and I'm gonna go Lakers over. Lakers games, Lakers and Jazz over. Lakers are a small lineup now. What do? They're pretty much going to run a fast pace, look for those quick shots. So there's no posting up, there's no slowing the ball down. The ball's got to be in movement, players got to be moving. You're going to get into Warriors mode now, where it's going to be a lot of small ball because they don't have a center. And in the buyout market, there's there's not very there's I'm gonna use a tough word. A lot of trash in the buyout market. So the way I look at it here, the Lakers are going to be a small ball team. So that's how it's going to work out, guys. So don't get your hopes up on this buyout market, man. They're even asking for Dwight Howard, who hasn't played in a couple of years. So he's even on Twitter saying, "Don't call me back. Don't call me back. I'm not answering the phone." So there you go. So I like the over in that one. All right, let's continue here on the drive through as we'll switch on over to college basketball here on this Monday card. A lot of small conference. They mix in a couple of good ones, but they mix in some of these smaller conferences. So let's get to the college hoops here. So in this block, we will take you here from 7 p.m. Eastern time and include the 7:30. So we'll do the 7 Eastern and include the 7:30. So these are the games that we'll be covering here in this block. You can see we already have Lafayette America underway. So we'll cover these 7 o'clocks, which include North Carolina and Clemson. They're now East. It's no longer Commerce here. They're now East Texas A&M State or something like that, I think, against McNeese there. But anyway, a lot of smaller conferences that you get on the Mondays here. So we'll take you to the games through the 7:30 slot. We'll stop it right there. We're just gonna keep it here at 7:30. So let's get this block underway here with Kirk.
Yeah, I'm going to look here at Clemson with the points after that massive win against Duke. I could see it being a letdown spot, but we're only having to lay 4.5 at home against a UNC team that hasn't really been that good this season at 14-10. Clemson's defense has been pretty good this season. I think there's just too much momentum after that win. I'm going to lay it with Clemson here. And then I'm also going to be on Stephen F. Austin at home, -1.5. No real reasoning there. Just I think that's the good play at home there.
From Kirk. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, exactly. Give me Clemson. Laid the 4.5. It was 5.5 before, but everybody's humping up on North Carolina. I think this is going to be a letdown spot for Clemson. Not in Little John Arena. No chance. Clemson's better offensively. Clemson's better defensively. Definitely not the same Tar Heels team we've seen over the last few seasons. Give me Clemson big to run roughshod over the Tar Heels in that one. And then Tony was talking about McNeese, East Texas A&M. I'll take East Texas A&M plus the 19 heading into McNeese. McNeese loves to pick up the pace and run and gun. 19, there's just too many points there in that matchup. Give me East Texas A&M on that one. And where's the next one? That's the next time slot. I'll wait. I don't want to jump time spot.
Well, he doesn't want the McNeese.
There's a couple. I'm not big enamored with today's college basketball.
Not the
one that was going to be a premium was Clemson. So lay it.
Yeah.
That's your premium for everybody.
The McNeeses wants the McNephews, not the McNeeses. Next on, we move on over to David.
First one I'm looking at here is New Orleans and Incarnate Word. I'm going to lay the 12.5 here with Incarnate Word. These two teams just played a couple weeks back. Incarnate Word won by 16 points, and this New Orleans team has just been brutal this year. 4 wins overall, 2 wins in conference. They've allowed at least 81 points in 3 of their last 5 games. They're allowing over 83 points against per game in the season. They're only shooting 41.2% from the field. Incarnate Word, they're shooting almost 48% from the field. They've been really solid. I know they've lost 2 straight, but that came against McNeese, who is first in the conference, and Southeast Louisiana, who's tied for second. So they played both those teams tough. They're playing well right now. I think they cover this and win easily. And the other one, just like a huge trap game in my opinion, this Southern and Alabama State. Southern 10-0 in conference play. Alabama State 5-5. Alabama State is at home. But it's just a 1.5 point spread. I would say Alabama State on the money line's a good look there, just based off of the line. Southern, when you look at their results, I mean, they've been winning pretty easily outside of an overtime game against Jackson State, which was at home. But they've been pretty dominant in conference play. With the line being the way it is, I would lean towards Alabama State on the money line.
From David, next up, we move right on over to Javon.
Yeah, looking at this UNC Clemson game, I'm not going to touch it. I will be looking at the first 5 minutes to see if UNC puts up a fight. If they do, then I might put a money line play on this one. You know, it's not even so much that this is a letdown spot for Clemson. At some point, the Tar Heels have to rise up. And, the Duke game is going to cloud a lot of judgment. They haven't been playing well, and they did get boat race in that game. But they've been competitive for the most part against these other ACC teams. And just keep in mind, they had a hell of a non-conference schedule, so they know how to play the bigger teams. And I've seen it time and time again with Clemson. Sometimes they just don't rise to the occasion in spots where you think that they should. They do have a lot of the same guys, from years past on this team. So, I'll be looking to the first 5 minutes. But forget that game. Looking at the game that everyone's talking about. Everyone wants to, be heavily invested on. That's Mississippi Valley State and Alcorn State.
Oh yeah.
And after three straight covers, this Mississippi Valley State team got blown out by 48 points. I think I want to be on in this spot though. So I'll take the 17 against Alcorn. I'll be on the Delta Devils.
It's SWAC action from Javon. I'll tell you what I think of some of these games here. I'll look at Clemson here, Little John here. North Carolina here, really poor defensive form over their past 5. Getting 47% shooting, failing to cover 4 of their past 5 with a push in there. Tigers have been very good against the spread here in conference and hitting 48% at home. I'll look them there. Look at them, Clemson in this spot. Rio Grande Valley and Stephen F. Austin, I like the under in this spot. These are two teams in very poor offensive shooting form right now. So I'll look under Rio Grande and Stephen F. Austin. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we'll close out the college basketball card here for the final games here, as we'll take a look at the games from 8 Eastern on, and we'll take a look at what we got here in this block. As you'd expect, a lot of the smaller conferences here, MEACs, we got some SWACs in there for you here in this block. We do have an AAC game here on ESPN2 between Charlotte and FAU. Baylor and Houston will be the game here tonight at 9 Eastern time. That's the featured game here. Baylor and Houston, and of course Fresno State and Nevada giving us that Mountain West late night action there, keeping you guys up back east up late. Your bailout game. There's your bailout game at 11 Eastern. So in this block, let's get it started here with Kirk.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the under here in the Houston-Baylor game. I think the total tells you everything you need to know. Baylor's going to have trouble scoring the ball in this one. In Houston, they allow 57 points per game on the season, and they're just a really tough team to crack. I think it's just going to be a very slow, maybe it gets to the high 120s, but I don't think it reaches 130. So I'm going to go under there, and then I'm going to go over in that Nevada State versus Fresno game. Fresno has just been giving up points like crazy. They've given up over 82 points in all their last 4 games, and this Nevada team can score. So I'm going to take the over in that game.
Yeah, from Kirk. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, and in this spot, a couple I'm looking at in this spot. I agree with Kirk in the under in Baylor and Houston. Low-scoring one. I don't even think we get to $1.25 in that one. Low-scoring. Maybe we get 60, somebody first to 60 wins type game. But either way, take the under $1.32 in that matchup. And then the other one I'm looking at here in this time block is NCAAB heading into Campbell. I think it's just too many points. Campbell's been playing some great hoops. They've won 6 straight. They've covered 6 straight. And now they're getting well overvalued, having to lay 13 here there in that matchup. It's just too many points. I think Campbell wins, but it's a single-digit win. Take NCAAB plus the 13 you can get. I see 13s out there. Find the best number. Take the 13. There's 12.5. I still like it at 12.5. NCAAB.
Therefore, we can now confirm that Anthony Edwards and Jane McDaniels are in for Minnesota. Edwards and McDaniels in for the Timberwolves tonight. Also, we have some updates for you here on the Warriors and Bucks. Steph Curry in for the Warriors. We're still waiting on Connaughton and Lillard here in that one. So let's see what else we have here in the injury list. Still waiting on PJ Exum and Christie's status there. Still waiting on the Portland guys. So far, that's the latest update with those two. Curry in, McDaniels and Anthony Edwards in tonight. Next up, we move on over to David.
I can't believe we're waiting until, it's every night with the NBA with these injury reports. It's insane. Something's got to be done because you can't. I know they don't. It's not about betting, but from even a fan standpoint,
For us it is.
like,
Come on.
the Pistons played on national TV the other night, and I think it was their only
Cade.
nationally televised game.
Yeah.
And Cade Cunningham, like 16 minutes before tip, was rolled out, and it's just like they still won, but crazy. But anyways, that North Carolina A&T versus Campbell game, I'm actually on the other side. I'm going to lay the points with Campbell. I agree they're a little overvalued, but I just think this North Carolina A&T team is not good. 4 wins on the season, 0 wins in conference play. Now, they did play decently well against Charleston in their last game, but prior to that, lost by 24 to UNC Wilmington, lost by 15 to Stony Brook, 16 to Towson. I think Campbell can cover this. They're playing just about as well as anyone in the CAA right now, so I'll lay the 12.5. And then Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Lamar, both teams towards the top of the Southland standings. I'm going to take Lamar on the money line. It is kind of an odd line. They're playing much better basketball right now than Corpus Christi is, but they have really the only thing better that I see that Corpus Christi does is they have a much higher shooting percentage, but they haven't played well recently. They lost 3 out of 4, so I'll take Lamar to win at home.
And there we go here from David. Next up, we move right on over to Javon.
Yeah, no, with this Baylor-Houston game, it should be entertaining. Don't want to touch the full game, but for the first half, I will roll with Houston -5. It's just a situation where you're looking at Baylor on the road last couple games. They haven't won the first quarter. In fact, they've been smacked up by 8 and 10 points in their last 2 road games. So dealing with the Houston team, one of the top defensive teams, if not the top defensive team in college basketball, I just don't like the situation for Baylor in this one. They're not the same Baylor team. They have won recently, had a big win against KU, but then followed up with a loss against the Red Raiders, and then, back to their winning ways last game against UCF. I think I got a good read on this Baylor team, and on the road, first half at least, they might come back in the second half because they've been doing that as well. But I think this first half, given the circumstances, I think that I want to be on the Houston Cougars side.
There from Javon. Tell you what I think about these games here. I'm going to look at Lamar here. Lamar has just been a lockdown defense in the Southland, especially at home here. Corpus Christi in horrible defensive form here over the past 5. I'll look at Lamar laying it there. I kind of agree with Javon. I'll look at Houston. Baylor's a team you back at home and fade on the road. Just fade them on the road, the Baylor Bears. It's been like that for a couple of years now. Charlotte and FAU, I also like the under in this game. Both teams trending under in the AAC. 49ers just cannot shoot the ball in conference, and Al's playing really good defense. I agree with Kirk. I like the over there in Fresno State and Nevada. No one's playing defense here. I mean, Nevada is one of the more disappointing teams coming in with a lot of experience. But, of course, you look at the coach and you can understand why. But anyway, Fresno is last in defensive efficiency in the Mountain West. But they are shooting their threes. So I'll look at the over as well. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we got you through the college hoops. So now it's time for our parlay privilege segment where our cappers can give out parlays, team player props, games in the future, team props, futures. They make the call. So let's get this segment underway here with Kirk.
Give me, I'm not taking any risks today. Give me Houston on the money line, Clemson on the money line, Celtics on the money line, 3-teamer.
3-teamer there from Kirk. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
And for me, I'm going to take Clemson minus the 4.5. I'll lay it with OKC. See, it's down to minus 16.5, 17 places. I still think they win by 20. And then give me the under in Houston and Baylor under the buck 32. Little 3-teamer for you there.
Yeah, from Rod. We'll see if Baylor can crack 40 here on this Houston defense. Let's go on over to
0-7. 0-7 as a road dog this year. ATS is the Baylor Bears. 0-7 ATS on the road.
Fade him. On over to David.
I'm going to take I'm going Magic against the spread, Celtics on the money line, and then Lamar on the money line, and Campbell against the spread.
From David, next up, We move right on over to Javon.
Spurs, Timberwolves. That's a two-teamer.
Two-teamer from Javon. Tell you what I like. I like over in Jazz and Lakers, under in Rio Grande, Stephen F., over in Fresno State and Nevada. All right, we got you through that. Let's see what cappers have for sale over at Pick Dawgz. We're heading to a week of action here, hoops and hockey on the break right now. So let's take a look and see what we've got for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium right now. We'll take a look here at Kirk, see what he's got going. Kirk putting together here are some impressive numbers here over the last 30 days, as you can see there on the board. 454 units of profit document over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got for sale?
Yeah, today I just have one play in the NBA. Tomorrow I already have one play up for Champions League, and we're going to ramp it up as the week goes. Like the slates for the NBA and college basketball, a little more towards the end of the week and a lot more soccer in the weekend, so ramping it up today.
There we go from Kirk. So get on board with Kirk over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Great results there. Let's see what David Racy has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. David's put up impressive numbers. Look at this over the last 3 days. 4,010 units of profit. All document over at Pick Dawgz Premium. What you got for sale?
Yeah, today, small card, but or small overall sports night, but my card's still loaded up. I have 7 total plays, 5 in college hoops, 2 in the NBA. Yeah, it's been a really solid 2025 for me. Over the last 30 days, I'm over 67% in college hoops. So definitely worth getting a long-term pass, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day. Especially with my volume, it's going to make a lot more sense to do that. So remember, code PICK at checkout to save 15%.
Get on board with David over at Pick Dawgz Premium. We'll see what Javon has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Javon here doing great work in college hoops this year.
Yeah, the no college hoops today. I'm on the NBA, got a 3-pack going, currently number 1 in the NBA. So been seeing the board well in the association. So gonna stick to that. Tomorrow I'll be heavily invested in college basketball. So jump on something long-term, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, yearly. This is around the time where we ramp up to the big dance, conference tournaments, and then the big dance. And I'll be heavily involved in that. So, the NBA, it's always a grind dealing with the injuries, but I've been able to weave my ways through that. So, all basketball, it's not going to be a problem. Get on board. Matching with one another, handicaps for the 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1, capital emotional. Can't go wrong here. Sports Chat Place and Pick Dawgz. Let's get it.
Let's get it, guys. Yeah, we're on over at Pick Dawgz. Great results there. Promo code PICK saves that 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You cover NBA every day. You stay laser focused. You can learn how to read these tea leaves in the NBA. Let's see what Rod has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Rod's put together good work in the NHL.
Yeah, for me over at Pick Dawgz Premium today, I got 3-pack at the NBA. As I said, the only premium I was going to put in was Clemson in college basketball, so you get that one free here. So the rest of the week, hey, lots of college basketball going forward the rest of the week, lots of NBA, so definitely jump aboard something long term. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 capper promotional over at Pick Dawgz Sports Chat Place. Can't go wrong having 2 cappers, 3 cappers, 4 cappers, put money in your pocket. Jump aboard. Long term is the way to go. Use Pick at checkout when you head on over to Pick Dawgz Premium.
Very good. Yeah, get on board with Rod over at Pick Dawgz Premium. I've got plays up right now from I got NBA best bet on the board. Also 3-pack mixing the NBA with a couple from college hoops. So get on board with me over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Do well with my best bet. So get on board. Remember that promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. And you can match me up with any of your favorite cappers with the multi-capper promotion, making it even a greater value there. All right, we got you through the show, guys. We're back tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. Bring our cappers from every Pick Dawgz and do it and get you those plays. First, let you know what's going on over the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. And on the side, of course, David, I know you're a featured writer over at Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat.
Yep, you go to either one of the sites, Pick Dawgz or Sports Chat Place. Click on the free pick tab. And this time of year, we got college basketball, NBA, and NHL. Pick Dawgz has just about every single matchup. Miss a few on Saturdays, but Sports Chat just has the big ones. So head on over, check it out. It's a great resource for some stats and trends.
Very good. Yeah, check it out there with David Racy over at Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat. Rod, and of course, Rod, furniture regular here on the drive. We got you here about 4 days a week.
Yeah, pretty much regular here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes I pop in on Thursday. So definitely tune in to the drive-through. And take Draymond Green under 3-pointers. He hasn't hit one in, 4 straight games? So take Draymond Green under 3 pointers tonight. That's plus 180 on that one. He ain't needing the 3.
Yeah, from Ron. Of course, Kirk, we can catch your content over on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel because you cover soccer, and we occasionally get some content from you from the NBA.
Yeah, big week in soccer. Champions League knockout started Tuesday and Wednesday, so we'll have picks for every game. Me, Jack, and Goran over there. So go check that out.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, Javon, you can catch Javon here on the drive-thru, and of course, the weekend shows, and of course, you got a parlay video series as well over on Pick Dawgz.
Yeah, and that parlay is up on the YouTube channel, and check it out. We're going chalk tonight, so so check it out, see what it is, and hopefully at the end of the night we'll be cashing.
There you go. Check us out over on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. One last swing through the injuries. No update since our last update. We're still waiting word on Connaughton, Lopez, and Lillard for Milwaukee. We're still waiting word here on the Dallas laundry list. Christie, Exum, Washington, questionable. We're still waiting on Portland, Grant, Murray, Williams, questionable. We're still waiting on Denver here with Porter, questionable, Murray, and Gordon, probable. And, of course, on the Lakers, Doncic, James, Connect, and Reeves, probable. So those still pending at this hour. That's going to do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru. We're back again tomorrow here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. Bring our cappers from Pick Dawgz and Sports Chat plays. We got our plays for you in real time. All right, we're going to wait. Goodbye, guys. You guys make it a winning Monday. We're back tomorrow.